Hi guys, it's Kristine here, your Superstar Director, and we are already on day 11 of Leap to Lead, which is super exciting. And so what that means that we're already getting to day 11 is that it's time to start talking about recruiting and building your team. All of the things we've been talking about so far with finding customers and knowing who in your network to talk to and how to get the product out there and how to know the product, all that stuff is so important because if you don't have a network of leads, you're definitely not going to recruit, right? You need people falling in love with Scentsy. We always say our hosts are our best recruits or our next team members because you already know not only do they love the product so much that they're willing to host a party because they want to get lots of it for a good deal, but you also know that they're willing to put in a little bit of work and do a little bit of scary things like invite people to a Scentsy party. Because in order to, as you guys know, run a successful Scentsy business, you have to be able to put yourself out there and not expect it to just come to you. So that's why we say your hosts are really good leads for recruits. That doesn't mean you're not going to get people that are just going to jump right in on the bandwagon with you. Even encouraging your new recruits to not wait to recruit and to encourage their friends to do this journey with them right off the bat. But recruiting is a scary thing, right? And I always have said that your first recruit is your hardest. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Somewhat it's because you haven't got one yet, so you don't have that confidence of knowing that you can get one, and you're still really, really giving yourself that negative self-talk or prejudging the person and saying, oh, they're not going to want to do this, or they're going to find me annoying, they're going to think I'm, bothering them, they're going to think this is silly, all of those things, right? And so we watched that video from Jacqueline the other day, and there's lots of great other video resources that I can give you guys from people that have inspired me along my journey. But basically what I can tell you is that the first recruit is absolutely the hardest. I also think that when we haven't had one recruit yet, and we want one so bad, we can tend to do things that are a little bit self-sabotaging. And I call that in a different way when I'm teaching the team, in that I say that they can smell the desperation on us, right? Like they say dogs can smell fear. But what I mean by that is that we can come across a lot differently when we so want something so bad that we don't even realize we're doing it. And people are more successful with recruiting when they just share their excitement about what they love and that the people don't feel pressured. There's skills you can learn in terms of being ready for some of the objections they might give you. But basically, it's about not appearing too desperate or pushy, and that you're capable of making it about them in the terms of listening to them and what they might be looking for, but also just being like, hey, I have the means to an ends for those dreams you want. I can help you. I know and I believe 100% without a doubt that Scentsy is a vehicle for that, and because it has been for me and so many of my friends. But it's your choice. You take it or leave it. The more you can have that attitude in recruiting, the more successful you're going to be in getting more and more recruits. So it's about exposing yourself to lots of leads, whether that's through parties and hosts and all these other list of 100 things we've been talking about. Being prepared with information for them. And some of that is about just having your knowledge there about how you're going to support a new recruit. And then we're going to talk a little bit about having recruit packs, which are packages of information ready to hand to those people that might have a little bit of interest in learning more about the opportunity. So we the other thing that I say about the first one being the hardest is that as soon as you have a recruit, you can now talk about yourself as a leader. You can talk about your team and what you do for your team. They don't need to know that there's only one other person on your team. You have a team. As soon as you have one recruit, you are a leader in Scentsy. And we're going to talk about that later too, and what that involves in being a sponsor and why you should have that attitude. But it helps you in talking to potential recruits, because you can talk about confidently, authentically, without feeling like you're selling them a story or a line or making it up or faking it till you make it, about what kind of a leader you like to be and how you like to support your new team members, whether that's, with their launch party and whatever. And again, we're going to get into that in more detail later. But I want to talk quickly about why. You guys know a little bit about why you want to recruit, because you joined this program. So you recognized that you want to grow to the leadership titles in our compensation plan, which leads to more money and just greater opportunities within Scentsy and your Scentsy business. Plus, every single leader out there will tell you that it's the most fun part of their job, the part that makes them feel the best, is helping other people. And there's no way to explain that feeling. It's one of those things like being a parent that you just have to feel for yourself. And it's one of those I told you so from a positive sense moments that I love as a leader, is when you guys come to me and say, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of so-and-so, she got her shooting star. Because then I'm like, yep, you get it now. You get how great that feels to see somebody else be excited about what they're accomplishing in their business. And then you understand why I love what I do so much when you come to me and share what you're excited about. So in the very back of your catalog, we always have, this is backwards, but that's our compensation plan. And I'm only going to hold this up for a little bit to explain to you the most important thing. What is down the side is the titles, right? Nope, they changed it. This one's a little different. Sorry. The titles are on the top. The old chart was down the side. The titles are along the top. Down the side is who you get paid on in your downline and how much you get paid on them. And so when you line the two up, you see what percent that is. However, the top section, this part here, is what you need to accomplish in the month. And this part, and then this part is how you get paid if you accomplish those things. So there's two definitions you need to understand when we talk about our compensation plan, and that is rank and title. Rank, okay. We start with rank. Rank is meeting all of those things in a month, because we all start over as certified consultants on the first of every month. Our rank is always, we start the month at certified consultant, and then as we meet those things in our chart, it changes our rank. Your title is your highest ever achieved rank. So my title is Superstar Director, but that doesn't mean that I rank Superstar Director every month, because I have to meet all of those parameters under the Superstar Director part at the top section of that chart. You are paid on your rank for the month, and you are paid, the percent you are paid is based on your frontline's titles. So if you have a frontline whose title is Superstar Consultant, but even if they only get paid that month as a star consultant, the amount you are going to be paid on them is going to be related to their title, them and their team volume at the Superstar Consultant rate. So those are some important things to remember. Write those down. You're going to ask me for clarification 5 years from now. We are still helping each other really understand that part of the compensation plan. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're struggling with that part, but write it down so you can look back, pause, rewind the video so you can look back on that, because that is probably the part that I repeat the most. Now, the next part doesn't matter until you start having directors underneath you. So I'm not even going to talk about that today, because it will overwhelm you too much in understanding things. Just know that your directors are still coming to me and saying, how does it work again, when it comes to that part. So when you get there in your journey, we'll talk about that part on how you get paid on downline directors and the different director titles, because there's a little bit more rules that go with that. But from essential consultant to director, we're going to talk about that. And one other thing for you to remember is that if any frontline, because you're paid on your frontline's team volume, so anybody under them is just part of their team volume. If your frontline's title is the same or higher than what you rank that month, then you won't get paid on them. So you need to remember this. You need to be higher than them, or you can be equal to them as a director in the director level. But until director, if they're a superstar consultant and you only rank at superstar consultant that month, you won't be paid on their downline for that month. Now, you don't lose the downline. It's just how you get paid for that month. Sorry, my hair's frizzy because it's air drying still from my shower and it's bugging me. Okay, so you want to be staying ahead of your downline. If you've got a rock star under you, that is awesome. And one good thing you can comfort yourself with is that even if they pass you and there's a few months that you don't get paid on them, they don't pass you forever and you lose the ability to ever be paid on them. You just got to step up your recruiting game and make sure that you do the things you need to do to get past them and start getting paid on them again. But they're still part of your team and your team volume, okay? Next, the parts in this chart that talk about what you need to achieve in the titles up until director have to do with what your PRV needs to be that month, what your team volume needs to be that month, and what your wholesale volume, team wholesale volume, that's important, and how many active frontline you need in that month. Because to rank, those things have to happen in that month. So it doesn't count to just have a frontline. Your frontline has to have been active in that month. That means 200 PRV, right? We are active when we put in 200 PRV. And this is tied a little bit to the reason we have to put in 200 PRV every 3 months to stay an active consultant, because your uplines pay that they're working and supporting and training you. It depends on you continuing to be active, hopefully. Now, you don't want to get in a place where you're relying on only one recruit, because the more options you have, the chances are greater that you'll have your one active frontline. Or at Star Consultant, it's 2 active frontline, and from everywhere after that, it's 3 active frontline. You never need more than 3, even at Superstar Director. But if you only ever recruit 3 people, you're not going to hit the volumes for Superstar Director, right? So you want to grow wide and then teach them to do the same things that you're doing to grow deep. And that's how you're going to grow your organization and grow to those higher titles. But when you're looking every month and seeing if you're going to get paid, you need to have 500 PRV yourself, and that one's easy because that's the same across the board. That's why we're working to make that a habit, to get 500 PRV every single month. At least 2,000 should be your minimum goal, because you get a 5% bonus at 2,000 PRV. Wholesale volume means 75% of the total volume, and it's the PRV, not their dollars. So we have a lot of math to do in Canada and other regions that aren't the US, but the PRV in the US is usually 1-to-1. Not always when it comes to cause products and licensed products and stuff like that. That's why we all work in PRV, which is our personal and retail volume. So you take all the PRV of everybody on your team and you times that by 75%, so times 0.75, that's going to be the wholesale volume. And every time you sign into your workstation, they have a beautiful little chart with a blue line that fills in for what you need for the next rank in volume, and little blue men that fill in for what you need for your active front line. So as soon as you have your one active front line, one of those little men is going to be blue, right? So that's kind of nice. That helps you check it every day. But your upline and me are always here to clarify any of this with you guys when you need it. So for lead, that says that your team wholesale volume needs to be 1,000. So that times times 75 divided by 0.75 will tell you how much PRV everybody on your team should put in together to make sure you hit that 1,000 group wholesale volume or team wholesale volume. They're the same thing until you have directors under you. And then the active front line, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about that, so this video doesn't get too long, because you can pause and rewind, and you can always ask for more clarification in the post under this video, or directly with your sponsor, director, or myself. But before I end the video, I quickly want to talk about recruit packets and show you a couple examples. And I want to talk to you about why you would have them. So the biggest time that I hand them out is when I do events, because events are a big part of my business. And so I have them ready, and we got to make more up this week because we've got the home show next week, to send them home with people. And then the trick is the follow-up meeting. I listened to a training call from Belinda Ellsworth once that really was like this big aha moment for me. And she talked about how we need to get that next meeting. We shouldn't spend our time at the event or at the party talking about all of the things we love about selling Scentsy. And I'm still really bad for this. I get sucked into this. But she made a really good point about how if you're doing a home party and one person starts asking you questions about all the trips you've been on and you get excited and you're talking nonstop about all the travel, you may have just alienated a person that was quieter in the corner who was maybe going to ask you for more information, but she's not really interested in travel. And so if that's the only thing she hears you ever talk about, she's going to talk herself out of letting you know that she would like some more information about joining. So your goal at a party, or when you're talking to people at events, or randomly talking to your list of 100 people about the business opportunity, is to, yes, share what you love, but keep it minimum and be ready to listen to them. But if you're at a party or an event and you're busy and there's lots of people listening, what you want them to do is take an information packet home with the promise that you are going to follow up in a couple of days, and that's key to remember to follow up in a couple of days, and try to have another phone call, or if you're far away, do a video chat, or try to go for coffee with them to discuss what they read. This makes them not set it on a counter and forget about it. It keeps you talking to them when they're still excited about it. It makes them read it right away instead of forget about it. And sometimes you'll call in a couple days and they'll say, oh, I haven't read it yet. And that'll be the trigger. And then you'll say, great, can we set a time to meet for coffee though? Because I would love to chat with you more and give you an opportunity to ask me more questions about it. And that way, when they're ready with their, oh, I don't know, too many people sell Scentsy, all those reasons that you're going to hear them say, you have time to talk with them one-on-one about those things and not be affecting everybody else at the home party that may be listening in, right? So that's why recruit packs are very important to have. And just to know that when you're handing them out, you are getting their information so that you, and making sure you let them know that you are going to follow up. If you're at a home party, you could even set the coffee date right then before you leave the party. Like the same way if somebody's willing to book a party, you want to get a date on the calendar right then, you could set your coffee date on the calendar right then to go and discuss it further. The other thing with these recruit packs, just to entice them to take it a little bit more, is that there should be some sort of a gift inside that's thanking them for being willing to take the time to read the information. So I'm very careful to make sure that I explain so that they understand this is my business. I am not interested in them taking the free scent circle and fooling me about pretending that they're interested. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't lots of people who take this packet and that's the end of it, because that's why I keep the present not that expensive, right? It's a Scentsy product. It's labeled with my info, but it's showing them that I'm really appreciative that they're going to take the time to read this information. And I'm very honest with them that's why they're getting this, because I hope that we can follow up later. Does that make sense? Okay. So these are some little half duotang folders that you could get through the Scentsy Family store a while back, and I really stocked up, so I haven't even checked if you can still get them, but you can get just dollar store folder duotangs. Or one thing I'm going to show you, which is really cool that I learned from someone else, is you know how our room sprays and scent packs come in these really great thick Ziploc bags? Save them. They are great for recruit packs. So I just stuck some stickers on the outside. I don't have any of the new Join My Team for $129. I have a bunch of $119 ones I had to get rid of. But stick some stickers on the outside and put in the information you're going to put in. So this one has a little sample and a car bar, a catalog, the Join brochure, and then I would add the other stuff that I have in this one. I only got one fully done, but I wanted to show you those little bags and how great they work. But this is how the inside of this folder one looks. So again, there's a scent circle in this one, and it's an old scent. You can buy the 6 packs of scent circles for half price. But you can put samples in too. You can put old testers in. Just have a little gift. You can put chocolate in. I like giving Scentsy, but they're getting something free for taking the time. Then my magnet business card is tucked in the front. The join brochure from Scentsy is in there, although this is the Vistaprint one that has a little bit of my personalized story in it. But then I do include a catalog and my personalized brochure from Vistaprint that talks about trips I've earned and awards and the countries we're open in and my story and some pictures about why I do what I do, and then the top 10 reasons to join Scentsy. So I have these. Sometimes this is all I'm handing someone. If I'm getting the sense from someone and we haven't talked for a long time that they're really interested, but they're like, hey, do you have any information on joining? And usually I will jump into the longer convo and send them with one of these big ones. But if there isn't time and they say, I just really want a quick brochure, or I just tuck this into their order bag so that they have a little bit of info and hopefully they'll contact me about it. But then I have our family postcard to show that it's a family business with the referral info on the back. Make sure you get that. There is another way, though, and these are documents that I'm going to upload for you guys in the group today after this video posts that you can edit to be your own information. So you don't have to do these fancy Vistaprint brochures. You can just print right from your computer your document. Now, this is Want to Sell Scentsy Business Q&A, and it is 3 pages long, and I just printed it in black and white, so I'm going to upload that for you guys. This is a great document. Actually, I include this with the brochure anyway, but what I don't necessarily include is a printed off version of my story from my website and a printed off version of this cute little document called Top 10 Reasons to Join Scentsy from our workstation. So you don't want to put too much in there. We used to have a Discover Scentsy video that you could order a bunch of DVDs and tuck in there if you wanted to hand those out and then make sure you followed up to get those back. There's all kinds of ways that you can do it. But again, remember, you want to get these in people's hands and you want to make sure that they know that you're going to follow up so you guys can talk about it more, and then you need to make sure that you follow up and keep following up, because a no often is a not right now. And anybody that was willing to take the information, just like anybody that was willing to host a party, are your strongest potential leads for recruits. So the video's already over 20 minutes, and I promised you guys they wouldn't be that long. So I'm going to upload those documents, and my challenge for you today and over the weekend is to work on updating those documents to have your information. So make sure you download them to your computer first instead of editing the one in the files for the group. Download it and edit it so that you can make up at least 3 recruit packs ready to start handing out, so you can start working on getting that recruit, which is going to be a huge step for helping you leap to lead. All right? Have a great day.